Most people love to travel. Some enjoy exploring the world. Some like discovering new places. And some just want to experience the beauty of nature. But sometimes, that same passion, that same excitement, can turn into something deadly. Today, I'm going to tell you a story like that, about a guy from Denmark and his college friends who went through something they never expected. There were 6 of them in total, but after that night, only one of them made it back alive. All of them decided to make a plan together. They were going to travel to the Philippines and explore the islands and the beaches along the ocean. When they arrived in the Philippines, for the first 2 days, they explored the city and nearby beaches, just enjoying their time. They spent hours by the ocean, taking pictures, and everything felt completely perfect. But then, out of nowhere, one of them suggested a new plan. Why not go to a remote, isolated island in the Philippines? A place where very few tourists go, and where they could find real adventure. Everyone agreed to it, and they all got ready to head to the island. But they had no idea that this trip was going to be the last trip of their lives. They got ready and set off toward the island by boat. At first, everything felt normal, but after around 7 to 8 hours of traveling, they realized they were lost. They had no idea which direction they were going. There was nothing but ocean all around them. No land in sight. No boats. No people. And the worst part was, they had no way to contact anyone, and there was no signal at all. Then slowly, night began to fall. And everyone started to panic, because they had no idea what to do, and no direction to follow. They kept looking out at the ocean, hoping that maybe a ship or a boat would appear, something that could help them. But a long time passed, and no help came from anywhere. Now the night had fully taken over, and the darkness was so deep that it was hard to even tell the difference between the water and the sky. Everyone went quiet, and there was only one thing on their faces: fear. Then suddenly, the weather started to change. Strong winds began to blow, and the ocean slowly started to lose control. Waves were crashing into their boat, and each wave felt stronger than the last. Within moments, the storm had fully taken over. Their boat was now completely out of control. They were trying to handle it, but every attempt was failing. The waves were throwing the boat from side to side, and then there was a violent impact. Everyone started falling inside the boat. Someone hit their head, someone hit their arm, and everyone was getting hurt. At that point, there was only one thing left on that boat: chaos and fear. They remained stuck in the storm for a long time. Around 2 to 3 hours passed, and the storm showed no sign of stopping. But then slowly, their boat started drifting in one direction because of the pressure of the waves. They had no idea where they were going. The waves were just carrying them away. And then, through the darkness, they saw something in the distance. Land. An island. For a moment, they thought they were safe. But the very next second, their boat started moving rapidly toward the island. And without any control, it slammed into a large rock near the shore. There was a violent impact, and the boat was badly damaged, breaking apart from the force. Then slowly, the storm began to fade. Everyone was badly injured and extremely shaken. As soon as the rain stopped, they made a decision that they would stay there for the night and figure out what to do in the morning. After saying that, they took whatever supplies they could from the boat and moved a little away from the shore, then lay down on the island. The night had grown very deep. There was nothing but darkness all around them. In front of them was the restless ocean, and behind them, a dense jungle. And what was inside that jungle, none of them knew. Everyone was silent, but the fear was clearly visible on their faces. They were all extremely tense, and no one could fall asleep. But after a while, because of the pain and the exhaustion, one of the girls, the one who was the most injured, they told her to get some rest and try to sleep. After some time, because of the exhaustion, the rest of them eventually fell asleep too. Then suddenly, one of the guys started hearing strange sounds. The sounds were coming from the jungle, as if something was reacting to them, as if something was there. He was scared, but the others were already asleep. For a while, he kept feeling it, and then he finally built up the courage and walked into the jungle to see what was there and who was watching them. For a few moments, everything seemed normal, and then suddenly, his scream suddenly echoed through the jungle. He was calling out to his friends. Everyone woke up instantly, and in panic, they started looking around, trying to figure out where the sound was coming from. One of them said, "That's our friend, I can hear him." Another quickly said, "It's coming from the jungle, he's in trouble." A third one said without thinking, "Let's go inside, he's there." And all of them started running toward the jungle, following the sound. But just moments later, the sound suddenly stopped. Now there was only silence. They all froze. Then started searching for their friend. And then suddenly, one of them looked down at the ground. There, his shirt was lying there, completely soaked in blood. They all looked at each other. No one could understand what had happened to him, or who had done this. And in the middle of that confusion, suddenly, a scream came from outside the jungle. One of them immediately said, "That's our friend, the one who was injured." They all instantly realized that she had been attacked too. All of them started running out of the jungle, but by the time they got there, their friend was gone. She wasn't there anymore. Where she had been lying, the ground was covered in blood. They all froze at the sight. No one could understand what was happening to them. The fear was clearly visible on their faces, and all of them were completely terrified. Then one of them said in a low voice, "This place isn't safe. Someone is doing this to us." They all looked around, as if they could feel something watching them. Then their eyes dropped to the ground. Blood trails, leading straight into the jungle. One of them immediately said, "We have to follow these tracks." Another one said, "Stay together, no one splits up." They all nodded in agreement, and slowly, following those blood trails, they began moving back into the jungle. Now, there were only 4 of them left. Now they were all moving deeper into the jungle, trying to find their missing friends. For a while, everything seemed fine. But then, one of them suddenly felt something, like someone was following them. He immediately stopped, and in a low, shaken voice said, "We need to leave. This place isn't safe. If we stay here, we're all going to die." The others started looking around as well. Now they could feel it too. That same strange fear. And then, suddenly, a strange sound started coming from deep within the jungle. It wasn't human, and it wasn't an animal either. It was something else. Something unnatural. A disturbing sound that echoed through the entire jungle. From every direction. That same sound surrounded them. They all froze in fear and in panic. Started looking around, trying to figure out where it was coming from. And then, suddenly, wooden spears came flying toward them. 2 of them were already hit by the spears. One of them was struck directly in the neck, and he dropped to the ground, dead. The other one had a spear driven into his leg. He collapsed, screaming in pain. Now only 2 of them were left, and both of them started running through the jungle in fear. After a short distance, they stopped. One of them said in panic, "Our friend is still alive. We need to go back for him." But the other one immediately refused. "No, it's too dangerous. If we go back, we'll die too." But the first one didn't listen. He said, "I'm going back, you stay here." And with that, he ran back toward his injured friend. As soon as he reached him, he tried to pull the spear out of his leg. And then, suddenly, someone appeared behind him and struck his neck with force. In a single moment, his head was severed. The injured friend was still alive, but the next second, a knife was driven into his chest, and he died right there. Now, only one of them was still alive. He moved quietly, terrified, shaken, trying to find his way out of the jungle. With every step, it felt like something was right behind him. Then, as he was about to get out of the jungle, suddenly, his foot hit something, and he fell hard onto the ground. The sound of him falling was heard. The attacker had heard it. He quickly got back up and started running again. But now, the attacker was right behind him. He ran out of the jungle with all his strength. And as soon as he reached an open area, the attacker threw a spear from behind. But he missed. The guy kept running, straight toward the ocean. His breathing was heavy, and his body was covered in injuries. Then he saw something. A large piece of wood, lying near the water. He quickly looked back. The attacker was still coming toward him, trying to kill him. Without thinking, he pushed the wooden piece into the water and climbed onto it, starting to drift away into the ocean. But then, the attacker threw another spear. This time, it hit him directly in the arm. He cried out in pain, but he didn't give up. He held on to the wooden piece and kept drifting farther into the ocean. After some time, fear, pain, and the injuries finally took over, and he lost consciousness. Then morning came. The ocean was completely calm now, as if nothing had happened the night before. Some fishermen, who had gone out like every other day to catch fish, noticed something floating in the distance. As they got closer, they saw a man, lying unconscious on a piece of wood, drifting slowly with the waves. They quickly brought their boat closer and pulled him out of the water. His condition was terrible. His body was covered in wounds, and he was barely breathing. They took him back immediately and admitted him to a hospital. After a few hours, when he finally regained consciousness, he told them everything, what had happened, how his friends were killed, and how he somehow managed to survive. But no one believed him. Some people said he was in shock. Others said that fear had made him imagine things. But he stood by one thing. He said that everything he saw was real. And then he said one more thing. He looked back one last time. And there, on the shore, the attacker was still standing, just watching him.